Good morning, Kevin James. General public comment, and I was really hurt.
Are we ready, Dr. Campos?
We are.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works. Today, May 10th, 2019.
Commissioner Garcia, Cabello, James, and Caloza are present. President James, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, John Olinger, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Julie Allen, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Victor Tercios, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Cecile Buncio, Sanitation.
Good morning, Yalin Tan, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did receive one speaker card under general public comment today. We do not have any commentary on the Neighborhood Council comment section. No speaker cards on any of the items for today's agenda as well.
Okay, a couple of housekeeping items. There's been a request to continue the oral report from the Office of Community Beautification from today to next Friday, May 17th, 2019. So without objection, we will do that. In addition, there's been a request by the council office to continue agenda item number 3 from today until, I believe it was July, what date, July 10th?
Wednesday, July 10th.
Wednesday, July 10th. So that's a 60-day continuance which they requested. So without objection, that'll be the order on agenda item number 3. We have a presentation this morning on the Riverside Viaduct Awards from the Bureau of Engineering. Ms. Lau. Good morning.
Good morning. Shirley Lau with the Bureau of Engineering, Bridge Improvement Division. Today, I would like to basically celebrate with the board on 4 awards that one of our Bureau's projects received since late 2018 all the way till a couple months ago. We received 4 awards from ASCE and also APWA. And I think the best way to highlight this project is for me to show the board a brief presentation on the project. And so if you allow me, I'd like to show you some photos.
Ms. Lau, just a moment.
Sure.
We've got Mr. Herman, you're interrupting the meeting. You've interrupted our speaker. We can hear you yelling from coming inside the meeting. So that's your first and only warning. The next time you do this, sir, I'm going to have you removed from the meeting. If you want to stay in the meeting and speak, you're welcome to. But you cannot interrupt our speaker from the back of the room. Go ahead, Ms. Lau.
Okay. Let me start with a brief presentation. So I wanted to highlight the project by showing you kind of our construction, how the timeline of the construction went, and also some of the elements that made this bridge stand out. So this first slide before you, it's an aerial view of the original viaduct. It is in both Council Districts 1 and 13. It connects the Elysian Valley communities to Cypress Park area. This viaduct was constructed in 1927. It's a combination of 2 separate bridge structures, and it kind of meets at the sharp angle. And there's a steel truss bridge that was constructed under the deck, and it was constructed in 1939 after the LA River flooded in that area. And so the Army Corps, that was when they decided to line the channel, and so they added that steel truss. So let me go back here. Yeah, so that bridge was deemed functionally obsolete by Caltrans, so it was approved for replacement, and that's why we have that replacement project. So this 1,200-foot structure, it spans the LA River, it spans 4 active rails and also Avenue 19. It's adjacent to the 5 freeway and the 110 connectors. You can see there's a lot going on in that little area there, that triangle area. So building urban infrastructure is really challenging. Oftentimes we just have such a small location to do a lot of work. We had to keep traffic lanes open throughout the entire construction. Traffic lanes, plus we had a path for pedestrians and bikes. So we kept that open by doing the project in phases. As you can see in this photo, the original viaduct is still there, so we kept that open while we constructed a section of the new viaduct. And so I'm going to show you the next slide. So the left photo, you can see the portion of the new viaduct is already constructed there. So what we did is after that, then we went ahead and demolished the old viaduct. Some of the steel truss is also on that left photo. Towards the bottom of the photo, you can see we had to demolish that over the LA River. As we constructed the foundations for this bridge, we drilled almost 300 piles. Some were as large as 10 feet in diameter, and they were 100 feet deep into the ground. Also, working on the river, there are restrictions. We had only April to October of every year to work in the river, so it was a really tight time frame. With 4 active rails, it was a huge coordination effort to demolish the portion over the rail. We only had a 24-hour window. That's for demolition. That's all they gave us. And then as we constructed the new viaduct, we had to work a lot of weekends, a lot of nights in order to make that all work. And so on the photo on the right, you can see there's the second section of the remaining section of the viaduct was being constructed. So some of the elements I think that set this bridge apart from other bridges is we really looked into active transportation and what to add to this project. So on the photo on the left, there is a traffic roundabout that's open now, and it had public art in there. The little photo on the bottom shows these sculptures, and they're about 9 to 12 feet high, and they're in the roundabout, and as people drive, they can actually see kind of the hologram of faces. So it's kind of interesting how these faces came about. The artists, they actually went to the community and they scanned the faces of 200 community members, and then they made these holograms and then kind of these sculptures are made of granite, and they were able to make it and shape it into these huge 9 to 12 feet high sculptures. So that's something new. We included public art. Also, another element of this project is that this is the first vehicular bridge where we included a Class 1 bike path, so the bike and pedestrian path, actually. In the past, the LA River bike path, the terminus was at the north end of the bridge, and so there was no real way to get from the north end of the bridge over the river. And so we added this bike path, and it's a huge connectivity for the LA River bike path. And so now people can ride it, go across the river, get into San Fernando Road, and eventually they can, ride into downtown. And so I think that was a huge improvement to the LA River bike path. So here, the last photo I have is just of the completed bridge. As you can see, now you can see the roundabout is towards the right end of the photo there. And so we're very proud of this project. We received the ASCE Metropolitan LA Branch Award last year, and then the LA Section Award, and then an APWA Best Award. And the last one was very interesting. In March, they emailed me and they said, you received the award in San Diego, so everyone come down to San Diego to receive the Outstanding Bridge in State of California Award. So that's pretty much my presentation on this project. I think the Bureau of Engineering would just like to thank the board for allowing us to present this here, and also allowing, always being so supportive of the bridge program. So I'd like to thank the board for that. And lastly, I just wanted to thank my team here on my left-hand side. They were the construction management team out there in the trenches, in the river, in the roundabout daily, and trying to make this project go smoothly. So Can you please stand when I say your name? Ignacio Villa, Andrew, Andrew Asper, and Nasser El Sahed. So now they've moved on to other bridge projects, and we hope to get those done smoothly as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Lau. We'll start with Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you, President James. Congratulations to all of you. I live in Echo Park. I often travel that route, that bridge. I remember the construction. It was really difficult logistically to do what you had to do and keep it open. I know there's some frustrated drivers, but you were still able to cross to get into Lincoln Heights, to get into Cypress Park. You did an outstanding job. The only thing I will say, and I'm very, very proud of the connectivity and the bike lane, which my husband rides, even though it scares me a little bit. The only thing I will say is the roundabout scares me a little bit because folks don't really know how to navigate roundabouts just yet. So people just kind of zoom through or just get scared and stand still. But nonetheless, it was a beautiful, beautiful job and really well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Davis.
Shirley, I just want to commend you and the team for the great work that you are doing in the Bureau of Engineering, and certainly our civil engineers should be proud of what we've been able to do. And I look forward to other awards for the work that you are doing in the Bureau. So again, I just want to thank you so very much and let you know how proud we are of what you've been able to achieve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. I just want to echo what my colleagues said and, thank Gary, our city engineer, Shirley, and your team. Thank you to have your names down here. Ignacio, Nasser, and Andrew for all your hard work. It seems like it was a 5-year project, and a lot of you stayed on site, especially Ignacio. I heard you didn't go back to the office at all in these 5 years to really make sure that this project was delivered. And, I think the residents who live, as Commissioner Cabello mentioned, really benefit from the construction and completion of this bridge. And so, we thank you for your hard work. And, I thank the Bureau of Engineering that your work continues to be recognized at the state level and at the national level. So congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President. I want to echo the sentiments of all my colleagues here. You guys have done an amazing project and feel proud that this is forever going to stay in the city of LA, and you had a mark on it. So even though it took you 5 years not being in your office again, I'm sure it's a new home now. I just want to say congratulations to the team, to yourself for the leadership, Bureau of Engineering, Gary Moore as a city engineer. You guys do an amazing, amazing work out in our city, and this is forever will stay here. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Shirley, you may have heard me mention this in the past, in prior years, as these projects have come to the board for various approvals during various stages. My familiarity is when I was training for a number of marathons, we would train near this area, park not too far away. So, I got to see some of the progress along the way from kind of weekend to weekend. And it's great to see the success and the recognition that came along with it. So great job, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, President James. Yeah, we actually brought the
Great.
flags.
I was going to say, let's do that so we can grab a quick photo.
Okay, thank you.
And then we'll come back to our agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, well, see when we're back on the air. Why do we turn those things off when we go take a photograph? Oh, here we go. Okay, we're back online now? Okay, let's go ahead and thank you, Ms. Lau and Bureau of Engineering. So before we start the rest of our voting items, let's go ahead and take general public comment. Mr. Herman, you have a public comment card. Mr. Herman? Mr. Herman? Mr. Herman, one more time. Mr. Herman's left the room, so we'll close general public comment since I don't have any other general public comment cards. Let's go ahead and take agenda item number 1. This is Bureau of Engineering, Council District 11, a construction order, Hayward Baker Incorporated, for the I never know how to say this. Asilomar. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. The Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study. This is a rebid project. Recommending that the board request the board issue a revised construction order to Hayward Baker with a new contract number. I think both of these issues have something to do with water, perhaps. You'll let us know, Mr. Schmidt.
Yep. Thank you, President James. Good morning, commissioners, Bureau representatives, Dr. Campos, Mr. Jordan, Patrick Schmidt, Bureau of Engineering, Geotechnical Engineering Division. And I am here to request the board issue a revised construction order with a new contract number to Hayward Baker for the Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study Project. As you know, the Bureau of Engineering administers the emergency pre-qualified on-call emergency contractors list to provide emergency geotechnical and structural construction work for city projects. On February 28, 2014, the Board of Public Works approved a list of 7 qualified contractors and authorized the city engineer to transmit contracts with them. Those contracts were for a duration of 5 years and expire on May 11, 2019. Asilomar Boulevard is located in the Pacific Palisades, and it's had ongoing problems with an existing landslide. We've been doing remedial repairs out there for approximately the last 18 years. After investigating and evaluating the dynamics of the landslide and evaluating the alternatives, the Bureau of Engineering selected the deep soil mixing method as the preferred method to stabilize the street. The selection was based upon the reduced impact of the community, the aesthetics, lower construction costs, and a shorter construction duration, and it's the preferred method over the other stabilization methods. The deep soil mixing method is never been employed on a Bureau of Engineering project. As a result, the Bureau of Engineering decided it'd be best to conduct a pilot study to increase our knowledge of the methodology and to help further refine and improve the design for the permanent stabilization of the street. On October 4, 2018, bids were solicited from the 7 pre-qualified on-call contractors. On October 18th, 3 bids were received, which Hayward Baker was the lowest bidder. On November 28th, 2018, the board approved the execution of a construction order to Hayward Baker in the amount of $533,435 with a not to exceed amount of $613,450. Funding for this project comes from the Special Gas Tax Fund. Due to delays in obtaining a coastal development permit from the California Coastal Commission, the issuance of an NTP to Hayward Baker has been postponed. The CDA, the Coastal Development Permit application, was scheduled to go before the board, the California Coastal Commission today, May 10th. The Bureau of Engineering recently learned that the California Coastal Commission has removed that item from today's agenda, and I understand it's going to be scheduled for a future meeting. We're still trying to find out exactly why the Coastal Commission removed it from the agenda today. The current on-call geotechnical structural contractor list expires on May 11, 2019, and the estimated construction duration of this project is 120 calendar days. Due to the expiration of the contractor's list, the Bureau of Engineering recommends that the board issue a revised construction order with a new contract number for this project. That concludes this report.
Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you, President James. Do you anticipate any issues with the California Coastal Commission approval?
We do not. We met with them in January and requested that this item be put on the agenda on their February meeting and their March meeting. At that time, they told us that they could not meet the February meeting, but they would shoot for the March meeting. And then later, they sent us a letter indicating that would be on the May 10th meeting.
And then it was never on the agenda, or they withdrew it from the agenda?
It's not on the agenda.
Okay.
today.
But you don't anticipate you're going to have any problems moving forward. I just would love some, I have no problem approving the item, but I know how sticky and tricky the Coastal Commission can be, and bureaucratic as well. So if you can just keep us posted on that, that would be
Oh, definitely.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're anticipating it to go through the Coastal Commission cleanly. They've looked it over, they've evaluated. Our construction duration for this pilot study is literally 3 weeks. So we should be done 3 weeks to construct it. Then we need to wait 28 days, and we're going to go back and sample it. So it's a very short duration project. And the beauty of this technology and methodology is it doesn't change the appearance of anything out there. Everything will be done within the public right-of-way below the street grade.
So we take this action today regardless of the fact that it wasn't on the agenda at the Coastal Commission today, hoping you're opting for the June or July meetings?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1, seconded by Commissioners Caloza and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1.
Mr. President, on item number 1, there's been a request to also amend the report to replace the word new with revise, and then also striking out the reference of the new contract. If it's okay with this board, I'd like to recommend the board approve this as amended.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. So any objection to the amendment? Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Monday, April 1, 2019 by Commissioner Cabello? Any objection? Without objection, those meeting minutes are approved. Mr. Schmidt, you're here on agenda item number 2 as well. In Council District 7, it's a construction order for John S. Meek Company Incorporated for the Latuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project, recommending that the board first request the board to issue a revised construction order to the contractor with a new contract number. So this one is an amended item as well. On number 2, sir, go ahead.
Thank you. That's correct. This one's also a request to issue a revised construction order and assign a new contract number to John S. Meek for the Latuna Canyon Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project. As I just mentioned on the previous report, the Bureau of Engineering Administrators' emergency pre-qualified on-call contractors list. This list provides emergency geotechnical and structural services for city projects. The board approved the list of 7 contractors. The board authorized and approved the city engineer proceed with the establishment of a contract with 7 qualified contractors. The term of these contracts was for 5 years and expires on May 11. The Latuna Canyon area, including the project site, was adversely impacted by the 2017 Latuna fire. Subsequent rainstorms in early 2018 damaged beyond repair an existing 7-foot diameter corrugated metal pipe storm drain that ran underneath the road and led to the collapse of the southern portion of the embankment supporting the road. In response to this damage and with consideration of the funding constraints, the BOE designed a repair consisting of 2 phases. Phase 1 was for the installation of 332 feet 8-foot diameter of reinforced concrete pipe through the existing embankment and the construction of inlet and outlet structures. Phase 2, which was not yet been funded, consists of reconstructing the embankment and finalizing the hydroseeding and cleaning up the site. Phase 2 funding is provided in the mayor's proposed fiscal year 1920 proposed budget. On October 24, 2018, the board awarded a contract to the contractor in the amount of $2,077,923 with a contingency of $235,439.73 for a total approved construction budget of $2,313,362.73 to construct phase 1 of the project. A notice to proceed was issued to the contractor on November 5, 2018 with a contract duration of 180 calendar days. Shortly after the construction started, the project site has been, which is located at the bottom of a large drainage valley, has been inundated with up to 45 feet of water and has thousands of yards of alluvium and debris has been washed into our construction area throughout the rain events, and that has delayed our construction. As a result, the construction really hasn't progressed since November. We've been basically pumping water to protect the road, and when an opportunity arose between storms, we did try to remove some of the debris. As I mentioned, the current list expires on May 11th, and the estimated duration is 180 calendar days. And as a result, we will not be able to complete the project before the expiration date of the contracts. Therefore, once again, we recommend the board issue a revised construction order with a new contract number for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Any questions on number 2? I don't have any questions either. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? That's as amended. Dr. Campos, any amendments other than changing the word revised and correcting that contract number?
Those are the only 2.
Okay. Then that's my motion as amended, seconded as amended. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2 as amended. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. That takes us to number 4, Office of Community Beautification Contract Amendment. Los Angeles Conservation Corps to provide continued tree planting services through fiscal year 2019-2020, recommending that the board authorize the Office of Community Beautification to execute an amendment with the Los Angeles Conservation Corps in the amount of $1,112,500 to fund citywide tree planting activities, and authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the contract amendments after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. Mr. Roch on number 4.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. Here this morning requesting board approval to amend an existing contract that OCB has with the LA Conservation Corps to provide tree planting and other related services as part of the City Plants program. Funds have been transferred to the Board of Public Works Contractual Services account from the Department of Water and Power in accordance with an MOU between Public Works and DWP to achieve energy savings from municipal tree planting efforts. These funds represent the second half of the payment for the current fiscal year. Since this MOU took effect in 2017, a total of 35,254 trees have been distributed and planted utilizing these funds. Work is performed by the Los Angeles Conservation Corps or some of the other tree planting partners, Koreatown Youth and Community Center, Hollywood Beautification Team, or Northeast Trees. Numerous tree planting projects and distribution events have been and will continue to be coordinated and overseen by the City Plants Office. Board approval to amend the existing contract is hereby requested, and we do have, and I want to acknowledge representatives of the Conservation Corps and the City Plants Program who are providing all the heavy work on these projects.
Thank you, Mr. Roch, and they are here today. So thank you for being here. Any questions for Mr. Roch? Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you, President James. I'm feeling especially talkative today. I apologize to the audience.
Sit back.
No questions, just comments. I really want to commend City Plants and LA Conservation Corps for the tremendous effort you do to not only nurture but expand our urban canopy. It's so vital, and the work you do, especially in the areas that need it the most, is incredible. I've seen your work firsthand. I really support what you do, so thank you all so much for these efforts.
Thank you, Commissioner Cabello. Anything further? I'll take that as a motion from Commissioner Cabello this morning, seconded by Commissioners Davis and Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Thank you. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Number 5, Council Districts 1, 7, and 14. A contract amendment, Northeast Graffiti Busters, to provide supplemental cleanup and community beautification services, recommending that the board authorize the Office of Community Beautification to execute a contract amendment with Northeast Graffiti Busters in the amount of $45,000, and secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the contract amendment after approval as to a form has been obtained from the city attorney. Mr. Roch, you're here on number 5 as well.
Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. Northeast Graffiti Busters is one of the contractors with OCB. They provide graffiti removal and beautification services in portions of the Northeast San Fernando Valley and portions of Northeast Los Angeles. The Office of Councilmember Jose Huizar has provided supplemental funding to support the graffiti removal program in the portion of his district, in which Northeast Graffiti Busters works, just to help boost them up as they continue to feel the impact of the prevailing wage. Additionally, funding is provided to assist with the cost of purchasing a new graffiti abatement vehicle, as Northeast Graffiti Busters has had one of their old vehicles kind of get beyond its lifespan and its repair use. Board approval is hereby requested to amend an existing contract with Northeast Graffiti Busters in order to provide these funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on number 5? All right, thank you. Commissioner Garcia has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5. I'll second that. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Thank you, Mr. Rotch. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 5 forthwith? We will send number 5 forthwith. Agenda item number 6 is in Council District 13, a revocable permit for 3019 West Windsor Avenue. Recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revocable permit to encroach within the public right-of-way, subject to the conditions listed. Encroachments are listed below and shown in the site plan in transmittal number 1. And are you going to go through the encroachments, Mr. Sawaya?
Yes, I mean,
Okay,
very
then I'm not
briefly.
going to. They're in the agenda notice. Number 2, transmit a copy of the report to Matthew Alessino at 2404 Wilshire Boulevard, number 12D, Los Angeles 90057. And number 3, transmit a copy of the report to the following departments and bureaus: Department of Building and Safety, Bureau of Engineering, Central District, and Streets LA at 1149 South Broadway. Mr. Sawaya, and we have a speaker card in support of the item from an owner. So we'll hear from you first. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ramsey Sawaya with Bureau of Engineering, Central District. Mr. Matthew Olsino, on behalf of the property owners at 3019 Windsor Avenue, has requested permission to encroach on the public right-of-way with the construction of a 2-car garage and stairs to serve his new proposed single-family dwelling. The subject property is currently vacant and is located on hillside, sloping steeply upward from Windsor Avenue. The incline is almost 62 feet from the base, Windsor Avenue, to the highest point on the lot. Windsor Avenue is designated as a hillside limited standard, dedicated with 60 feet right-of-way and improved with 25-foot roadway and 5 feet sidewalk on each side. Windsor Avenue is not going to be widened because the whole block is fully developed with single-family dwellings, and few of them already have encroachment permits, and they do encroach in the public right-of-way on both sides, on the north side and the south side of Windsor Avenue. The Department of Building and Safety has determined that this garage is not required by the code due to the steepness of the lot. So it's not a required element. There is no known controversy or conflict with the associated construction. We work and notified CD13, and they do concur with our recommendation. Bureau of Engineering respectfully recommend that the board adopt the conditions and adopt the approval, and with the conditions listed in the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sawaya. I don't see any questions. Let me call up Mr. Wickersham. You put in a speaker card. A couple of things, Mr. Wickersham, before you start. I want to commend you. You're starting off on a good foot already. Your speaker card is really well filled out. And we really appreciate it. I can read it. Everything's filled in. It tells us why you're here. That's so helpful. So thank you, sir.
Well, I do what I can, and the first thing you do at architecture school is you go through months and months of printing to learn how to do your lettering really clearly. So
that said, during Mr. Sawaya's presentation, I saw you and your team sitting there in the pew, and was there something that he said that was not clear to your team, or something you didn't know about, or?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a surprise in there. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Brian Wickersham with Ox Architecture. We're the architects of the home. The garage, and the reason that we initially had it is that with the requirements of the baseline hillside ordinance, we thought we were required to have 2 covered parking spaces. But it seemed like you said that the garage is not a requirement. Is that something that's come from LADBS?
Yes, we received a
Mr.
letter.
Sway, you can, we're making an online record. Go ahead.
We did receive a letter. It's including as a transmittal in the report. Building and Safety officially determined that this garage is not required by the code. And because the hill is very steep, and based on their determination, that's why we are recommending approval, because if it's going to be revoked, it doesn't affect the non-compliance of the single-family dwelling.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of that letter here? Yeah, it was our understanding that we're required to provide 2 covered parking spaces per BHO.
It was dated February 27, 2019.
President James, may I maybe make a suggestion that if you would like, we can either continue the item, if you want to clear this up, or if you would like to move forward and proceed?
Well, I believe the owner's actually here. I believe we would like to proceed because we would like to do the garage. A little bit more background on it. We were proceeding because we thought we were required to do the garage. It is a hillside lot. It is very steep. We actually were given approval by BOE as part of the, I'm not good at microphones, I'll work on the distance there. We were given approval by BOE as we went through our clearances in the plan check process because in 2014, City Council actually approved this garage as a part of another proposal. We're actually the 3rd architects to work on this site for this owner. They unfortunately had some problems with some of the initial proposals, but we were able to get the building permitted. So we got the clearance from BOE, contingent on that 2014 approval from City Council. We started construction over a year ago on the house, and so we're well into the construction process on it. And so we would like to close this matter if it is possible to do that today. And do the garage. I think it's not only a benefit to the property, but also to the neighborhood because it's less parking on the street, which is always an issue when we're at hearings with neighborhoods. And so, yeah, we would like to proceed. I think we'll probably follow up with LADBS later, but it seems like this is a very positive thing. Oh no, that's why we were so shocked by it. We didn't anticipate.
Yeah, you got more. You see, you come to City Hall and get more than you ask for sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, we're happy
All right.
to get that today.
All right.
So I'm also here to answer any questions if you have anything else.
I don't think we have any questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Sawaya, yes. So, look, they'll get their permit today. I don't anticipate you're recommending it. BOE's recommending it. They can determine what they want to do with it. We don't have any kind of concern or objection from the community or from the council office. So, I would make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6, seconded by Commissioners Cabello and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Have a nice weekend. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned, everyone. Have a great weekend.